Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council and Blue Ridge Art Space, and I'm back again to share more with you about what's going on in the arts in Watauga County. And as I've been telling you for weeks now, just because we're in a shutdown situation, which is about to ease up, but nonetheless, just because we're in that situation does not mean the arts stopped. They don't stop. Creativity just doesn't stop. So one of the things that the Blue Ridge Art Space and Watauga County Arts Council have been doing is scouting around and finding artists hard at work and wherever they are and sharing them with you. And I've really enjoyed that process. It's been a lot of fun. Also, we had a guy named Lucas Treba who contacted me it's been about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, and came to me with an idea and said that there were many, many artists in the community who were relying upon their art as a way of making their living, such as musicians who do gigs, that kind of thing. And they didn't have a way to make a living during the shutdown period. And so it was really hitting them hard. So we got our heads together and pulled in a whole lot of really great minds and developed a team. And from that was born the Blue Ridge Art Stream. And it's every Saturday night from 7 p.m. we feature some artists in our community, and we're sharing the arts in our community. We so far shared 2 musicians. And over the course of time, we're going to be sharing what I'd like to call a collage of artists, because there's so many different kinds of artists in our community. And I want to share a lot of them with you and let you just sit back every Saturday evening at 7 o'clock and just have a great time exploring the arts. And while you're watching, you have the opportunity to give to an artist relief fund through a hot link. And then that way you can help share with these artists that are struggling, and we're collecting money in this relief fund, and then we'll be inviting artists to apply to it to get some money to help them through these times. But I'm hoping Blue Ridge Art Stream doesn't only last for these times. I think this is something that's going to stick around. It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to do. And this week, we're kind of turning around and going in a different direction from all the music we've been doing, and we're going to the visual side. And we invited Lauren Waterworth to join us this week, and she is a painter. Normally, I think of Lauren more as a plein air painter, but I think the weather got you this time, didn't it, Lauren?
It did. It did. You cannot take an easel out in this. I guess you could. Maybe some people who are more hardcore at it than I am might do it, but not me. So instead of plein air, I'll be doing a demo from my very glamorous studio in our basement.
Yeah.
Well, when I say glamorous, I mean it's about 9 square feet and dusty.
That's okay. Cozy.
Great.
Cozy's the word. I guess if you had a really big front porch or something, you could paint a rainy scene and that kind of thing. That would be fun to do. But you're right. Plein air painting kind of depends on the weather. Now, well, let's back up and say Lauren was born and raised here. I don't know if you were born here, but you were definitely raised here. Yeah. And she grew up in this community, and I think a lot of you may have already known her through that. And then what I knew about Lauren was then she went off to law school and became an attorney. And then I find out we encountered her through that, and then I think I found out you were teaching at the university, and then all of a sudden she just starts posting these great pictures on her Facebook page, and she's painted them. And I'm like, where did this come from? Tell me about that, Lauren. Where did this come from?
Well, I've always been into art, I mean, since I was a kid, and I actually minored in art in college, and went on to pursue other things, and have in the last few years been able to come back to painting. So I've enjoyed doing that.
That's great. Well, you have really, I've watched your art over several years now, and you started out really good, but you're getting better and better and better. And so I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And
I love it, so.
Well, now when you get ready to do plein air painting, what is it that you're what is your goal?
I think there are a couple of goals, well, more than one. I love being outside, and I love painting. I don't have a ton of time because I'm a mom and I teach. And so plein air painting kind of, checks 2 boxes. And then it's a unique challenge to get a painting done in a short amount of time. You're kind of limited by how long the light is lasting. And so it's a challenge to get it done. And I think it also really makes you more, I don't know if efficient is the right word, but it changes the way you paint in the studio as well. I think it makes you more spontaneous and efficient. So like my studio painting has improved, I think, pretty dramatically since I started plein air painting.
Do you paint faster now?
Faster, but only because I think I've gotten more efficient, and because plein air forces you to kind of commit, and sometimes thinking too much on a painting kills the life.
Yeah,
it kind of takes the life out of it, and so it kind of trains you to capture more spontaneity, I think.
Yeah.
So
now, are you one of those plein air painters that finishes the painting while you're still out there, or are you one that will start it and then maybe finish it up in the studio?
Usually I finish it out there, maybe with the exception of adding a little more highlight once the painting has dried enough to go back and add a little bit of white. Right. But a little of both, but more often than not, I'm mostly finished by the time I come in, and I'd say I have about a 50% success rate on whether I call the painting presentable when it's done plein air. Sometimes, it looks awful, but even, you still learn a lot from awful paintings. So
there's always gesso. You can gesso the canvas and do it again.
That's right, and I've done it many times.
Now, you paint in oils, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is going to be both on radio and also for people to watch. So those people on radio, if you want to see what I'm going to ask her next, you may have to go find it on Facebook. But Lauren, I understand that you have a really great website with some examples of your work and that kind of thing. Can you share your screen? We're on Zoom, folks. So can you share your screen?
Yeah, so that folks who are watching can, I guess, see what my painting looks like. I've got a lot of tabs open, so you're probably seeing that at the moment too. So this is my plein air page. Yeah, I like to capture that late afternoon sunlight. It's rhododendron season, and I'm going to click over to my rhododendron page just so you can see that. They're kind of my jam. I love these things.
I started to say rhododendrons is what I think of when I think of your painting.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I'm really bummed actually that it's been raining cats and dogs for 3 days while the rhododendron are peeking in my yard. I'm not happy about this situation.
Maybe you should go into photography. That's about the only way you're going to capture it.
I do run out there on occasion. Like if the light hits it right, I'm like ducking out there and taking a few snaps.
But it would be a soggy chore to be out there trying to catch a painting like this in the rain.
That's right. Yeah. So, all right, I'll stop the share, I guess.
So folks, you can see that Lauren's work it's got a whole, there's a look, and I don't even know how I can describe it, but it's a freshness. You've got a certain color hue that you kind of, everything you does kind of fits within the same framework of colors, which makes it recognizable to me, that I could see that same thing. But I do think of your rhododendrons first when I think of your work.
Oh, thank you. I do love them.
You do a wonderful job with them.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm from here, and rhododendrons just signal the start of summertime. So
now, when we do Saturday nights event, are you going to bring some rhododendron along? What are you going to do?
Probably that. I mean, it's that time of year. It's what I want to paint. So yeah, I did get a few pictures earlier in the week when the sun was still shining. So I'll probably be working from a reference photo of one of those.
That sounds fantastic. Now, folks, you don't want to miss this. This is a really fun thing to sit back and watch an artist create a work of art. And Lauren's doing a little bit of taping so that she can speed the process to fit within our time frame, which is something like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So even Lauren doesn't paint that fast. But we will have a great chance for you to kind of see a start to finish kind of an idea of what does a painter go at and how do they go do it and how do they call it quits? How do you know when it's done? And so that whole process, I hope you'll enjoy watching with us. It's on Facebook page for the Blue Ridge Art Space and Watauga County Arts Council. And it will also be there later if you have to miss it. But I really tell you first, up at the same time, it's really even more fun. And also there will be a link for you to make a donation to the Artist Relief Fund if you choose to do that. So I hope you'll join us then. I also hope you'll look at our website. We've taken advantage of the shutdown time to kind of redo our website. So it's a whole new page. we're still kind of working on pieces and parts, but basically it's all there, and we're really excited about how it's looking and how it's going. So go check that out. You'll learn more about this process, this event, and a lot of other things that are going on. And then, of course, you know, right now I wouldn't advise calling us because we aren't in the Blue Ridge Art Space. We are still working from home. But we are going to reopen when the time is right, and we are in the process right now of learning about what that's going to be and what that's going to take to do that. And we'll let you know when we're ready to do that and how that will work. But in the meantime, every time you drive by that corner at the Shadowline State Farm Roads, look over and say hi to the building because it's lonely over there. If you remember that building, it's the one with the little blue people on the front porch. We hope you'll come join us there as soon as possible. And in the meantime, stay in touch with the arts. There's a lot going on in the arts and always will be.